All right, notice example 3 compared to example 2. Let me just show them side by side here. This is cosine of x cubed. This is cosine cubed x. All right, here x is cubed, and we're taking the cosine of that. Here cosine is cubed. So cosine of x is the argument. It's being cubed. All right, so you see the difference in the structures. All right, so if we go back to just one page here. Cosine cubed x, a better way of writing this for the sake of what we're doing is that anytime you have a trig function to a power, that's exactly how it really looks in real life. This is just a more elegant way of writing it, and that's the way the book tends to write it. That's the way you want to write your final answers for trigs to powers. But cosine cubed x means cosine of x, the argument, is being raised to the third power. That's what that means. So if I'm trying to differentiate cosine of x cubed, this is very much like example 1 was. That was something raised to a power. That was the original structure. It's a power structure. Again, I want you to throw out whatever's in the parentheses and just use the word something. All right? So let's go back to this first one. This is something to the half power. I'm going to use the power rule. This is cosine of something. So I'm going to do the derivative of cosine. This is something to a power. I'm going to do the power rule. So again, to establish what rule I'm going to use, replace the ugliness with the word something. Whatever is happening to the something, that's what rule you're going to use to differentiate. So something to the third power, the power rule tells me I take my power times the argument to one lesser power. But since the something has a derivative, I need to multiply by the derivative of that something. The derivative of cosine of x is sine of x. And again, that's the derivative, that's the calculus step, that's applying the chain rule. Anytime you apply some calculus rule, you're allowed to change from a y to a y prime. Once you've done the calculus, don't do calculus again. Unless you're asked to do a second derivative, that's chapter 3.8. And that's not going to happen for a little while. So, 3 cosine of x squared times negative sine of x. If I simplify this, making it look as pretty as possible, the minus sign goes in front of the 3. Maybe sine of x goes first, cosine squared, x goes second, or vice versa. Simplifying, that's just a matter of rearranging things a little bit. You always want minuses in front. I always like numbers in front too, so minus 3 goes in front. Cosine squared, sine, cosine squared, take your pick on the order of those things.
Yeah, I was just going to ask.
I kind of like sine in front of cosine, I don't know why, but it's just, I tend to see that more often, sine in front of cosine, so I've kind of gotten accustomed to that order. But that, if you put cosine squared first, sine second, it doesn't matter. You can flip-flop these two guys, but make sure the negative 3 is in front.